The first shot of the night for the 18s ends up in the back of the net.
Jamie Glantz from Victor Plant and Logan Stewart, all three forwards in on the action on a defensive zone breakdown by the Lumberjacks. Burzcall's unit, they jump over the wall. He goes down to Novotny, back out to Sanderson. Noling had to make a save. I don't think he realized he had made it until he found
the physicality, and then everyone else kind of follows suit.
Face-off won by the 18s. Cutting across the middle of the ice, A.J. Francisco, taken away by the Jacks. Here's Burzcall's near side, met by Casey Mutryn, and it comes back the other way with Gutierrez. Across the way, Nelson sends it in. Axelson behind the net. Swipes it far side. Here's Novotny. Long stretch pass for Sanderson, cutting across the neutral zone. Carter sends it in. He'll get off for a line change. Stewart. He carries it up the wall. Cycles back for Plant. He works up top. Cycles back for Glantz, who also cuts towards the blue line, though this time Noringer takes possession and chips it up the ice. Amico in his own zone. Reverses near side for Blanchard. Chipped high in the air to the center ice logo. Gutierrez taken away by Bergeron. Gutierrez recovers it. Now on the near side, here's Blanchard. Off for Bergeron, back to the offensive zone. Ty hits the brakes, finds the trailer. Belushko, he scores! Adam Belushko ties the game up at one apiece. Goal of the season for the future Lake State Laker, Adam Belushko, Slovakia native. Wore an A on his chest at the World Juniors for Slovakia. A couple of goals in the tournament out in Minnesota as Belushko controls it back in his own zone, and like you had mentioned, a great assist by Ty Bergeron, the 2009 birth year, out of Flat Rock, Michigan. Grew up closer to USA Hockey Arena than Trinity Health Arena. Lutner sends it back in. Here's Teddy Lechner. Far side, plays up the wall. Lutner, again, keeps it in, swipes it near side. Belushko ahead for Blanchard, and across the way, here comes Bergeron. Throws it across the blue line. It's taken away. Amico picks it back up. Off for Thorpe, and out of the middle for Drew Stewart. Up the middle of the ice. Blanchard got a stick on the pass, so icing waved off. Barnett to the far side. Abe Barnett, younger brother of NTDP standout defenseman Asher Barnett. Back to it in his own zone. Ahead for Mutryn, younger brother of Chicago Steel standout Teddy Mutryn. A lot of brothers in the USHL. A lot of cousins as well. We'll talk more of that in a moment. First, here's Trache. Far side, finds Mutryn. Poked up towards the blue line. Bergeron bangs a body. That was Shire, and now Vukas ahead for Blanchard. Taken by Nelson. Across to Mutryn. By the way, younger brother of Danny Nelson. Here's Sammy. Back out to Mutryn. Fired on. It's held on to behind the net. Thorpe up the far side. Gus finds Bergeron to the offensive zone. He goes, though a great poke check by Mutryn sends him the other way. Blanchard got a stick on the headman pass, so Nelson meets it down in the corner. He's met by Nate Selski, and now here's Bergeron. Taken away, Mutryn, a wraparound attempt. Held on to by Axelson. Burzcall's centering Novotny and Sanderson. Across from Nelson with Mutryn and Trache. Richard Parker, Trache's dad, was a longtime NHL coach as well. If we're talking family members, he gets it centered for Nelson, though it goes awry on the one-timer. Francisco has to get it back in the neutral zone. Back up the near side, Trache sends it in. Giving chase Larioza to the far side corner. Up top, Gutierrez, near side, Francisco. Looks to center it in front, taken away by Novotny. Jacks have numbers 3-on-2. Melvin looks far side for Larioza. A nifty backhand saucer pass. That doesn't quite go the way he wanted it to. Instead, here comes Sammy Nelson. The offensive zone taken away by Amico.
UND in Minnesota, but still the rivalry alive and well in the state of 10,000 lakes.
State of hockey, too, although being a Michigander now, I can't say that too much. Puck goes out of play, 2:33 to draw. Far side, Nelson, his counterpart. Won by Nelson, some help from Mutryn. He'll carry it the other way. Down below the Lumberjacks goal line, Trache off for Mutryn, up top Bogus. His shot blocked by Novotny. Sanderson flies the zone, but he drags the defenseman with him, creating space for Novotny. The centering pass for Burscall's taken away. And now Logan Lutner, the defenseman, leads the rush. Great check by Thorpe, knocks him down, while Lechner takes it in his own zone. Teddy Lechner in the zone. Amico with 5 seconds to go in the frame finds Benson. Niles sends it in, but Mutryn takes it away, and that'll do it for the period. Both teams find the back of the and now Sanderson sends it in. Again, caught up in the feet of the official. Max Colin knocks down Trache, while Mutryn clears the zone. Colin leans in across from Sammy Nelson. Though Nelson's excused out, Casey Mutryn will take his place. Colin joined by Schlechtweg and Benson. It's won back by Mutryn. Here's Gutierrez. Up the middle of the ice for Trache. Now Mutryn behind the defense. Casey Mutryn turned aside by Axelson. Got it with the outstretched pad. Benson gets the rebound far side. Not out of danger yet. He's pressured by Mutryn, so he flips it near side towards Lechner. Trache keeps it in. Now here's Nelson down the slot. Forced to the corner by Thorpe. Heavy check by Gus as well. Mutryn barely staying up on his feet, make that Nelson. While the two still tangled up, it comes away with the Lumberjacks, kept in by Francisco. His shot onto Noringer and Novotny with Larioza. Mutryn with Shire and Barnett. Here's Larioza, down low Novotny, back up to Larry. Near side Noringer. Victor, back to Larioza, Noringer, the two playing pass down Novotny. Back up to Larioza, walks back across to Melvin. Larry, top of the blue line. It bounces off his stick and out of the zone. Noringer right back in, though he's met by Shire. Offers Stewart. The Jacks a delayed offside. Barnett can just hold on to it for as long as he wants. Instead, he fires it down the ice. Axelson off for Larioza in the tightly contested USHL's Eastern Conference. Have a chance at 4 points this weekend. You don't want to be the team that doesn't pick up the 4 points. Amico pushed down towards the corner and swipes it around. All the way down the far side. Francisco, he'll pick it up. Near side Mutryn. 40 seconds to go on the Jacks. Too many men on the ice penalty. Mutryn weaving his way down to the far side corner. Puck goes high in the air and gloved down by Amico. Great keep by Colin, but given away to Drew Stewart. He looks to clear the zone, finds Amico, and now here's Blanchard, though they call him offside with 25 seconds.
What else is going on? And if you fall in any which way, that's dividends to finding yourself on the road in the first round.
Here's Glance near side. Francisco walks the blue line and across the way for Colin. Met by Noringer, Wyatt Colin up top, now Francisco. Back across to Colin, near side for Glance. Knocked away by Vukas. A great play by Bronco, looking for Novotny, but it was get away from Shire, but it's knocked to the outside. Picked up by Mutryn and tapped for Plant. 3-on-2 rush with speed, now Boyker near side. Down to the goal line and behind the net. Far side corner, works up the wall. 40 seconds until Colin leaves the box. AJ Francisco to Wyatt Colin far side. He loves to shoot but can't pull the trigger. Instead, Vukas took it away. Kept in by Glance. Looked back door. A great recovery by Bronco Vukas. Got the puck down the ice.
Yeah, tried to springboard him and then a turnover, but good recovery.
Back at the Muskegon red line, or the red line, Francisco on his own half of the ice has to take it back to his own zone. Novotny up front with Noringer. Lechner and Thorpe behind him. To the near side corner of the Jack zone. Francisco continues for it. Out of the box comes Colin. His cousin Wyatt couldn't keep it in. Here comes Novotny, joined by Noringer. 2-on-1. Casey Mutryn knocked the pass out of the air. At center ice for the moment. Now we're ready to go. Jacks do not challenge. And so it stays a 2-1 game. They wouldn't have challenged the Braden Willis goal. They would have challenged the lack of a goal for Jack Christ moments beforehand. Amico swipes it near side. Gutierrez can't keep it in, so Bergeron chases down the ice. Far side, it's Barnett. Near side, Gutierrez back with Mutryn, taken away by Bergeron. Here comes Sanderson. A mini breakaway, though it's turned aside by Noling. Carter, feeling the pressure of the back check, fired a great shot that Noling had the answer to. Now Sanderson causes a turnover, though Trache recovers. A great poke check by Larioza, and here comes Sanderson again. The offensive zone. Curls up the far side, though Trache collapses on him as Sanderson fell to the ice. And now Nelson pushes to the offensive zone. Lechner pokes it away. Ahead for Drew Stewart. To the offensive end he goes. Stewart curls up the near side, centers for Noringer. Looks across for Novotny, but Gutierrez took it away. Colton St. Clair putting all of his big dogs on.
Putting the big boys up with as many as they can.
Far side, here's Francisco. Sent into the Muskegon zone off the skate of a jack, so no icing. Here's Lechner near side, looking for Bergeron. It comes up the wall. Great play by Trache, shuts down the breakout momentarily as it comes back to Thorpe behind the net. Gus near side for Teddy Lechner. Up the wall for Collins. Tapped across the way. Here comes Sanderson. Fire just wide. Rudy gets it near side wall. Nice move. Gets behind the net. Far side. Lechner the one-timer. Wide of the cage. Sanderson swipes it back around to the far side. Collins the first one on it. Looks to keep it low and finds Bergeron. Ty escapes behind the net, but he's met by a pair of white jerseys. It comes out in front. Here's Thorpe. Pulls a toe drag, carries the far side, and fires a shot that's deflected wide by Trache. Sanderson, a tough angle try, an easy save for Nolan. Lechner, good effort, turns into a battle, keeping it to the offensive zone, but now here's Gutierrez off for Francisco, and down the ice it goes. Not enough mustard for icing with 2:45 to go in the frame. Belushko up the near side for Novotny. Melvin loses his stick. Belushko, a great step on Cullen, allows Novotny to rejoin the effort. Now here comes Stewart. Chip to the far side corner.
To no avail.
Here's Vukas to send it back in. Gutierrez near side, up to the blue line now Thorpe. Centered off the stick of Christ, but taken away by Meyer. Can't fire the breakout pass. He's met by Jonerheim. Now clears the zone to Trache. It comes away with Mutryn. Softly sends it in off the near side wall. Trache meets it in the corner. He's been to the boards by Vukas. Taken back by Carter Meyer. Now Trache works up towards the blue line. Across the way for Francisco. Good check by Benson. But Mutryn regains possession for the team in white. Just 4 seconds to go in the period. 2 seconds left. Crystal fire it down the ice. It'll go down. Blanchard right back in to Lechner, down towards Christ, but swiped below the goal line by the defenseman Shire. Bergeron near side, taken away by Parker Trache. Over the red line, near side of the ice, now the blue turns into a 2-on-2 rush. His shot shouldered aside by Axelson, and now here comes Blanchard. He'll just softly chip it up the middle. Bergeron and Chris joining Blanchard up front. Thorpe joins Lechner behind him. Puck goes across the way. Gutierrez offside, gives us our first stop. Picked up by Gutierrez. His stretch pass finds Plant, pushed forward for Mutryn. Met by Vukas on his way behind the cage. Bronco takes it away. Now Chris down the ice. Enough juice for the icing, and it gets there, so icing called against the Jacks. 5.5 draw far side. Bergeron and Blanchard middle of the ice. Selski and Thorpe on the back end. It's won back by the fresh goal scorer, Sammy Nelson. Now here's Mutryn. Backdoor, Francisco the shot. Turned aside by Axelson. Now Trache keeps it down low towards Mutryn. Out towards Nelson, but swiped away by Bergeron. Here comes Chris with speed to the offensive zone. Hits the brakes, fires on. A great stick by Francisco. Knocked the puck over the glass and out of play. Stewart leaned in for it, though it's won by the NTDP. Vukas has to chase back to his own zone for it. Met by Nelson. Vukas across the way. Now Belushko up for Benson. Kept in by Lutner. His shot off the pad of Axelson and kicked away. Vukas ahead. A great stick by Trache shut it down. Battle continues. Comes away with Trache, and now Mutryn sends it deep. To the far side, here's Nelson. Down low, Trache works to the near side corner. Pinned to the boards. It comes away with Belushko. Adam, far side for Benson. Pushes it down the ice in the corner. Nate up the middle. Novotny taps it in. Sanderson and Burrs-Collins, they jump off. Christ and Benson replace them. Novotny causes the turnover. Comes out to Benson, though his shot blocked by Shire. A good keep at the blue line by Selski. Sends it off the back wall to Christ far side. Cycled behind the net, but Barnett the first one on it. Now Jonerheim meets him far side and wins possession. Out to Christ, he fires just wide. Benson near side now. Niles, knocked down by Mutryn, carries it along the goal line and plays it far side. Christ, a tough angle shot, blocked by Barnett. Now Benson on the wall. Taken by Trache, cleared up to the blue line and out of the zone. 3-on-1 rush, make it 4-on-1. Mutryn far side, fired on. Axelson sticked it away. A valiant effort by Selski. Axelson still forced to make a save and now makes another one. Here's Thorpe to the far side corner. Mutryn met by Selski behind the net. Carter Meyer back to the far side corner. He's pressured by Jonerheim. Meyer works to the near side.
Themselves now just holding on for desperate life with 4:57 left.
Here's Belushko, near side, Vukas. Push down the wall, Trache clears it, now here's Mutryn. Working on Belushko down towards the corner. Vukas pushes him to the boards, Mutryn stays on his feet and keeps possession. Down the wall for Trache and poked away, that's Adam Belushko. Now Vukas across for Bergeron. Tie, near side, here's Drew Stewart. Steps into a shot that Noling, able to glove down, holds on to. Nate up the near side of the ice, 2:33 to go in regulation, bouncing on to Noling. He holds on as Axelson made his way to the bench. To draw, Sammy Nelson, his counterpart. One back by Stewart, some help from Sanderson. Now Novotny fires on it, goes just high of the crossbar. Noringer up top to Drew, back to Noringer. Victor, down low, Sanderson, works to the near side, plays up to the blue line, but it split the guys up top, Larioza and Stewart. Larioza gets it in his own zone. 2:07 to go in regulation. They'll set up a structured breakout. Larry, far side for Novotny. Cross ice dump to the near side corner. Barnett the first one on it. Met behind the net by Sanderson. Now Burrs-Collins pinned to the boards. Works to the near side. Leaves off for Novotny, poked off his stick. Here's Trache, pokes it past Larioza. Mutryn for the empty net, it's knocked out of the air by Stewart. Trache near side, off for Nelson, emphatically to the empty net. And Sammy Nelson gives the NTDP a 4-2 lead with $1:36 to go. Soft one by the NTDP, Axelson has to give change. Behind the Jacks goal, it comes away with Amico. 44 seconds to go, going to the bench, Axelson, here comes Christ, fired just wide. To the near side, Amico, poked off his stick, Nelson flies the zone, an unselfish play finds Mutryn, who sends it to the empty net. Sammy Nelson, 2 goals in the game.